Joining us now to talk about it, Dr. Tiff, psychotherapist, HLN contributor on the emotional angle of this, what a family could be going through.
Right.
And Jeff Gold with us as well, great criminal defense attorney. Jeff, let's start with you. Family wishes of the husband, is that going to win out? What do you see here legally?
You know, it's a torturous case.
Yeah.
It's gut-wrenching is right, Mike, because, you know, you have the law, which is really meant, on one hand, the health code to protect the unborn. And now we get into the whole, you know, issue of right to life. You have the hospital in this case saying, listen, there is a viable fetus, and in another couple of weeks, it might be able to live outside the mom. We're not going to shut off these life support systems. And the family, probably because the child is actually severely deformed, you know, the fetus is severely deformed anyway, doesn't want that to occur. The law is convoluted. There's a Fourth Amendment right to privacy. There is the actual statute itself, which makes an exception for privacy. There's the fact that, look, if the mom is dead, brain dead already, then she's not a patient. So it's very convoluted, but it gets down to a human drama of whether or not you should try to save this deformed fetus.
Wow. That's according to the father, who released a statement, a heart-wrenching statement as well. All right, Tiff, talk about the emotions, the unthinkable emotions. I mean, she's 14 weeks pregnant when she has a clot in her lung and collapses, and that's in November. And, you know, the husband, they've got a child named Mateo in the midst of all this. Yeah. What's a husband do with these emotions?
Well, I'm sure he's grappling with a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of crying, a lot of loneliness, a lot of just fear about what the future is going to hold. And he's got to keep it together for his son, probably also for the other family members that are suffering a loss too. I would imagine that during this whole time, especially since she has been brain dead, that he's been suffering quite some loss already, going through those stages of grief and loss already, because the person that he knew as his wife is no longer there. It's important to note, though, on those tweets that we got, you know, we don't know. We sit here and we might speculate what the mom would have wanted. But I think her husband and her family probably know better than we do about what she might have wanted.
And that's the tough part of this, the nuanced conversation that they may not have had. He says, and Jeff, I'll go to you on this one, she didn't want to be kept alive on, you know, life support, what's happening now. But did they have the specific discussion, well, what if you're pregnant? Right? And that plays into this as well. Right.
That's right. I mean, look, you know, in Texas, you know, they consider 20 weeks to be really the cutoff between the right to privacy and getting, you know, an abortion on demand. So it really complicates everything, because this fetus is 2 weeks past that time. If they had that specific discussion, that would certainly be relevant. That's why it's in court. There is no real clear answer to this case. It's really about the family's desires and whether or not the court thinks that the overriding societal interest in maintaining the life of this fetus, deformed or not, overrides the wishes of the family in this specific case. The statute itself has two different competing, you know, sides to it, so the court will have to make a decision.
Yeah, couple more social media posts on this one. Here's a Twitter feed. You should be able to pass away peacefully so her family can start to heal. Now, the Facebook post from Mia, something just doesn't feel right. First, does he really think that she would want him to terminate her life while pregnant? I think we will be hearing on this story on investigative discovery. Any final thought on this one, Tiff? Just so difficult.
Well, I think, you know, the message here that I want to make sure we talk about is how to break this, because they do have another child, right? At home. And so talking to your kids about something like this is unimaginable. You don't, it's not something that you plan for or wish to do, but you've got to, if you start to have those types of conversation, know your kid, know what your kid can and can't handle, be honest with your kid. They know that mommy's not coming home. They know that much. So be as honest with them as appropriately, age appropriately as possible, and certainly get them the support that they need, whether that's a support group, counseling, whatever. Make sure everyone is wrapped around that kid with love, and so that they know that they're safe. Yeah,
there were some of the pictures there of Mom and the little guy, little Mateo. All right, we'll see what happens. We could get a decision today. They're going to be in court shortly. We'll be all over that. Jeff, Tiff, guys, thanks again so much. All right, let's